What does it mean when you are, say, a woman who reads for fun and your intentions about that are questioned? And people like to think that pop culture doesn't reflect serious issues and that, oh, it's just an online community, it doesn't matter. But culture reflects culture. Women will hate on other women or insult other women because they're trying to not identify themselves with something controversial. It does make my heart sink a little bit because how does the theory of gender expectation play into that? Welcome back to the bookshelf, or welcome if you're new. I'm Grace, and I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great day, had a bit of a long day, but now we are just sitting back, and I'm just gonna have a little chat. I literally just decided to do this video today, but it's something that's been on my mind a lot because, hold on, let me fix this angle here. Today I was, in case you don't know, I'm in college, I'm a sophomore, that's what I do. But I was in class, minding my own business, doing my little, statistics work, okay? And lo and behold, I hear someone talking about football. And I'm like, well, hey, I love football. I love football. Are we going to have a more interesting conversation instead of boring classwork? Sure. So I get all excited and I'm like, oh yeah, football's starting back up. This is so exciting. What team do you like? And this person was like, oh, I like this team. And it was not the team that I like. I like the Chiefs. I have always been a fan of the Chiefs since 2020 when I upped my glasses prescription and I could see properly. It's always great when you can see the ball on the screen. You finally understand why people are into it, you know? Because I quite literally had trouble before seeing the screen. But ever since the Super Bowl of 2020, I have been a Chiefs fan. However, as you may know from the pop culture world, a lot of football fans that are women, their intentions have been questioned about whether they became a fan organically, like through watching a game, or through because of Taylor Swift. Because of Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce, that doesn't really make you a fan because you're just there because of her. A lot of women had to face sort of like the third degree interrogation when they mentioned the Chiefs about, like, well, are you really a Chiefs fan? How did you become a Chiefs fan? Oh, you just like her because of Taylor Swift. Name 5 players. If I had a dime for every time I've been asked to name 5 players, back to my story. So I said that I like the Chiefs. And I wasn't expecting the reaction that I got, which was, oh, I hate the Chiefs. You just like it because of Taylor Swift. That's why you like them. I was shocked and slightly sick to my stomach because I understand, like, in 2023, when they first started dating, that was a big thing to be like, oh, football is being ruined because of, but it's like, it's been 2 years, okay? It's been 2 years. They're not breaking up, they're engaged. So, like, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that girls and Chiefs fans are overlapping in their demographics. Like, it's not going away, so you might as well deal with it. However, I noticed that in that conversation and in many conversations that I have about reading or football, which are like my two big passions in life, my intentions are questioned about whether it's performative. Because if I make videos about reading, are you actually reading the books? Even though, like, my Goodreads goal is not 200 books, it's like 75, and I'm probably am not going to hit that this year if I'm being completely honest, because it's September and I've only read 25 books. But nevertheless, my intentions are often questioned about, like, well, you post pictures of books, you post like book hauls, and you say that you like football, but is it only because of Taylor Swift? First of all, my usual response, in case you're wondering, my response to this person was to say, oh, well, you hate the Chiefs. I'm sure you don't make it your whole personality then. People are joking and, like, they know that it's okay to like the Chiefs even if you find out about them a certain way, but sometimes people aren't really good at expressing whether they're joking or whether they're serious. So my usual sarcastic take works either way, because then it's like either funny banter or you're actually defending yourself to a rude comment. So it works either way. But I just noticed that this tends to be the language surrounding hobbies that can be performative that women have, and assuming that they're performative and having that take the forefront, specifically with books, specifically BookTok books. Performative reading is basically where you read for attention, like you read popular books or critically acclaimed books to try to curate a certain image about yourself. So let's say you want to be seen as the pop culture girl who is up to date on all the trending books, then you'll probably post pictures and videos of yourself reading or discussing an Emily Henry book, the new Emily Henry book that came out, I think like this spring. Great Big Beautiful World, or like Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. You'll take a picture of yourself reading that and you'll do like a little aesthetic flat lay. And people will question it. People will be like, well, do you actually read the books or are you just posting quotes and annotating for attention? And I see these things on other girls' videos, which is so sad because, like, if I get it on mine, I have a pretty thick skin when it comes to online comments. Like, it takes a lot to rattle me. So if somebody's like, oh, you're ugly, or you're stupid, or your videos suck and I don't watch them, that doesn't bother me, genuinely. Like, I've had people say, like, to their friend when I'm walking by because they recognize me from online, they'll say to their friend without knowing that I can hear, oh yeah, I've seen her videos online, they're not very good, or I don't really like them. That does not bother me, genuinely. I don't think about it. Like, the only reason that I remember is because, like, the first couple of times it happened, I was still shocked that people recognized me at all. But when I see it on other girls' videos and I don't know whether they have that thick skin or not, it just worries me for the integrity of our community because BookTok and Bookstagram was originally meant to be supportive and kind and welcoming like any other community, but then it gets tainted by people sort of policing other users and creators because it's not like there is a police task force, checking to see who's actually reading their books that they off their book list, and there's no task force implementing laws against reading trendy books to curate a certain image. Like, and pretty soon you start filtering out what you think you can and can't say without getting backlash. And I'm someone who I've never been apologetic about who I am or what I like. So, for example, when today happened and I was like, oh, well, me liking football is perceived a certain way. So, my thought was not, oh, I shouldn't talk about football. My thought was, I'm going to talk about football even more now. And I will probably wear my Chief shirt to class next time. It does make my heart sink a little bit because there are girls who are younger than me or are less used to that sort of, backlash. And maybe that turns them away from liking books or football. And I think that is so sad because what are you accomplishing by policing the integrity of someone's actions? Like, yes, there are plenty of pictures of people reading, like, I don't know, L.M. Montgomery or Charles Dickens in the park with like a tote bag. And yeah, you could question, are they actually reading it? Are they doing it for virality? Heard this on a podcast, Caroline Winkler's podcast, Not For Everyone, that she hosts. I absolutely love that podcast. And what she was saying in one video about misogyny was that women will like hate on other women or insult other women because they're trying to not identify themselves with something controversial. They don't want to be associated with that because they're trying to stay appealing to men or to certain audiences. So they are trying to distance themselves from that thing that they are repulsed by, that they comment on. And there is nothing more cringy and there is nothing more performative, quote unquote, than trying and visibly trying and trying to make videos that resonate, trying to make videos that go viral. Because of course you want to go viral, of course you want to boost your career. There is nothing wrong with that because like you're putting in effort and you're trying. Like I always say this, but when you're watching a video, like you're watching this right now, and you are seeing it through like your eyes. Like you're seeing the screen as if it is, your eyes, and it's like we're having a little dialogue because you're thinking things about what I'm saying and you're interacting with the video. But I'm sitting in my room talking to my cell phone. And when I'm making a short about like how to make a fall pumpkin, I am staging every shot and I'm putting in work to edit it together and do a voiceover and add like music and emojis and font and whatever. And you're putting in work. And I don't think that people realize that just because it's performative in the sense of you are putting on a fun experience for people, you are putting on something to engage with, it does not mean that it's disingenuine. It just means that it's not completely raw and candid. And it just means that someone put in work to do that thing, to make a video or to do a picture. Like maybe they're not the most comfortable in front of the camera, so it looks more staged. But not everyone is going to be as natural as seasoned content creators with millions of followers. I have told people when they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" I try to avoid it because you never know people's reaction when you tell them that you do um, internet stuff for fun. You never know what people's reactions are going to be. Could be horrified and repulsed, or it could be like, "Oh, wow, that's so cool." You have no idea. It could go either way. But I try to avoid telling people, but when I do, there's always a possibility, and it has happened that they're like, "Oh, you do book videos? But do you actually read them? Like, do you have a book in your backpack?" You know, like, and it's a hobby that was once basically male dominated hobbies that became popularized through social media and popularized through, women online. And one of my main concerns about this is that it will ultimately lead to BookTok imploding on itself and Bookstagram imploding on itself. And also, it will lead to girls feeling ashamed for their hobbies and for what they love and basically having to come prepared for an interrogation. And like, I hate to tell you, but they show like what, maybe 30 seconds to a minute of footage of her at every game. You know, if you were genuinely had no interest in football and you could see the clips online, people would just be doing that. People would not be sitting through 3.5 hour games to see like a minute of footage. No, no one's doing that. What they're doing is they maybe watch the first game for that, and then they realize that it's fun and interesting, and so they want to learn more about it. So they check out like the Kelsey Brothers podcast and they learn more about who the players are, and they become genuine fans. Just like during quarantine when reading kind of came back around from the e-reading and print industry failing phase, quarantine, guess what? Women got online and they started making videos about what they were reading in quarantine. Next thing you know, BookTok is deciding trends, picking up books like out of the ether from 2011, like the Song of Achilles, and then making them viral again, like 15 years after they were published. They're making edits of book characters and they're boosting authors that don't have as big of a platform or don't have the resources. And BookTok is huge now. But people still question the intentions of someone who tries. And basically my concluding thoughts are just because it shows signs of effort and it is not candid or raw does not mean that it's not genuine. It just means that someone tried. And a lot of people are embarrassed by trying. A lot of people find that cringy and weird and quote unquote performative, but it's not. Because even if someone were to perform in a play, you could say that, "Oh, they're not really doing that. That's fake. That's fake." What you're doing is you're creating an experience based off of something real. The emotions are real, the work is real, the creativity is real, but you're putting on an experience for people. You are designing a flat lay or a picture of your bookshelf or a book review video that you want to do well, but you're including your genuine thoughts and feelings. It is based off of yourself and your spirit about reading and your imagination. And that's what's important. And if we get to a point, like collectively as a society, where girls can't either like one-on-one or online share their hobbies and their passions like football or reading that were male dominated, and we can't get to a place where that's okay, then I'm sorry, but we're not as progressive as we think we are. And we are not as evolved as we thought. Because if we can't even allow people to express themselves without like judging every micro expression and ingredient in that piece of media, without shaming them and questioning them and basically putting on like a witch trial for canceling, and people like to think that pop culture doesn't reflect serious issues and that, oh, it's just an online community, it doesn't matter. But culture reflects culture, and one faction affects another faction because people act like people and people are themselves, no matter what corner of the internet they're on. And if we think that a bigger issue is like women being treated unfairly in male dominated study categories, but we don't think that it's a big deal that women are being shamed for expressing their hobbies, or questioned, or treated weird, or made to feel bad, and we don't think that that's important to discuss, then we're not as evolved as we thought. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for coming back to the bookshelf. I know this was more of a serious video, more of an analytical video, but I promise the fun videos will be back. So if you liked this, and if you agree that loving what you love is important, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe so you can see more from me, because I like me, and I like to think that you guys like me. So subscribe if you want to see more of me to like. And have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!